Now, last month, we did take a quick look at that DART mission where we were trying to learn whether we could move an asteroid from its orbit, especially if one that was on its way to hit us. And there's lots of asteroids out there called near Earth asteroids that potentially could hurt Earth if they were to run into it. But who knew that the Arecibo telescope has something to do with those near Earth asteroids? Arecibo tragically is no longer with us as a telescope and is being canceled, but I'm sure Sarah's got some words about that as well. But it's just an interesting result coming out of data that came from Arecibo that is no longer with us. Sarah wanted to have some words on it, and I said, yeah, that sounds fascinating. Yes, take it away. Tell us about some of these asteroids that are out there that might run into us, and what did Arecibo have to do with it?
Oh, hey. All right.
Just that little question.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Before I do get started on the asteroids themselves, like you said, I want to talk a little bit about the dish itself because I get partial to equipment. I get attached, and Arecibo was it featured heavily in several movies from my childhood, so I'm attached to Arecibo. It was pretty sad when we lost it. Um, One of the things that really struck me about the collapse was that there was such great footage of it. It was almost as if they were filming it. It's almost as if it was anticipated. As I was doing research for this story, I did come across why that happened. They were filming something at Arecibo the day of the collapse, and I've got just the quick video of it. And it's so this is B-roll. They were just filming the observatory, getting the background stuff that they could throw in anywhere. There's the central piece, and oh my gosh, and who doesn't love a radio telescope? Anyway, but then I saw this. There was a guy walking on the struts that collapsed, the walkways that collapsed. Fear not, he made it all the way down before this. Later in the day, but amazing that it was captured. I just I'm glad that they had the cameras in place to capture that with the audio. It's chilling when you hear it full volume because that was loud. But after the telescope collapsed, the astronomy world knows how important Arecibo was, and there was a call to rebuild. The National Science Foundation ran Arecibo. Still runs the complex, and astronomers were calling for them to rebuild it. Unfortunately, as Dr. Reitzel said, it is not happening. On October 13th, the NSF released their plans for the Arecibo site. They released a solicitation for bids from contractors to change the facility. What they plan to do with the Arecibo Observatory site is create a new multidisciplinary world-class educational center. It will be called ACER, or Arecibo Center for STEM Education and Research. The goals are to promote STEM education, to promote STEM participation. Amazing. Love it. Unfortunately, that solicitation says very clearly that they want the bidders to reimagine the complex. They are not looking to run another telescope, a 305-meter telescope filling an entire valley for the next 40 years. So Arecibo is unfortunately no more. This is just crushing. It's splattered on the side of the valley, and it hurts to see. But this comes at a great time for Arecibo because it's a really proud moment for Arecibo. The data that Arecibo collected is how we chose the system for the DART mission to impact. This image here is the data from Arecibo. It sent radio signals out. It captured them back, captured the reflections, and you can see that there's the larger object and the smaller object. That's Didymos and Dimorphos, the tiny little moon. And this data was absolutely crucial for not just picking the DART mission, but for realizing that we needed the DART mission. Arecibo is responsible for finding so many of these asteroids. This is from NASA EYE's asteroid visualizer. I've highlighted the Didymos system, but all of those little blue specks are near-Earth asteroids. We are not done mapping them out. Just lurking within those little blue dots are at least 70 potential threats to Earth that were found by Arecibo. Yeah, it was an important fish. And not just the announcement of it not being rebuilt coming on the heels of DART. That's not the last bit. The largest data set of studies of collection of asteroid information was just released. It's a mere 2 years of Arecibo data collected into one place. It's approximately 191 asteroids where, using Arecibo's incredible powers, its instrumentation, these asteroids were modeled, their shapes, their sizes, their reflectivity in radio. And that's incredibly important for moving forward in mining. As we look to mine asteroids, we're going to be looking for metal-rich asteroids. And Arecibo, in just the last 2 years of its data, found 2. They're incredibly rare. 2 out of 191 is a gold mine or an iron mine. However, whatever's going to be found over there. But Arecibo's mission is not complete. It has a lasting message. This is called the Arecibo message. It was designed by Frank Drake. Yes, that Drake of the Drake equation. It was transmitted in 1974, and it is carrying Arecibo's legacy out to the stars. I wanted this to feel a little bit like in memoriam. So first light, November 1st, 1963. Collapse, December 1st, 2020. Arecibo, it went out with a bang, and you gotta love that.
Yeah, it was hard to believe those pictures were real and that video was real, and the sound of those snapping cables. It was so heart-wrenching, and hearing the metal being bent and collapsing on top of itself. You just had to worry. I hope there was no maintenance workers, nobody down there on it as this is happening. And yeah, it's Arecibo figured prominently in, probably me becoming an astronomer, primarily due to stuff like, contact and, just the idea of this giant dish that maybe could pick up a radio signal from another intelligent civilization that's using radio to communicate.